Welcome to the second reading assignment for academic reading. We'll now take a look at a text called Assessing Business Communication Assignments of English as Second Language Students. In other words, most of you are also ESL, or English as Second Language students. This is interesting. We're going to look at how teachers are going to grade your papers, your efforts. We're of course interested in the structure of things, and we're going to look at that, specifically answering these two questions. We're going to analyze the titles of the different sections to find out the structure of the article, and we're also going to look at topic sentences. In the previous exercise, reading assignment 1, we took a specific look at topic sentences. We're just going to read the text by focusing only on topic sentences. No other text will be read, and we're going to try and find out whether we have enough sufficient information from those topic sentences to understand the full scope of the article. Okay, but in this first part, section A, we're going to look at the titles. This is what the article looks like. So first we have the general title, followed by the abstract. An abstract serves as a kind of introduction. It's a kind of teaser, wanting to pull the readers in to read the full article, and as such also provides a miniature survey, a miniature summary of everything that is to follow. But we are going to focus on the titles. We see that for the first part of the text that there is no title. The only thing that we see is assessing assignments in business communication. Class remains an important component of teaching and learning process. A kind of sentence with the first words really clearly marked, but that is not really a title, but we see that it's a general introduction of sorts. Then we come upon the next title, which is Increased Enrollment of ESL, so English as a Second Language, Students in Business Communication, which is, when we look at it, a title that has specific content. It's not a dummy title, not something like introduction or so. It's very clear-cut content. As we then scroll down, we get to another title, which is Purpose of the Study. Whereas the previous title had content elements, Purpose of the Study is a very generic title that you can find in quite many different articles. So we see already that there is a mixture between content titles and specific generic titles, in this case Purpose of the Study. In this case, the purpose of the study was to determine whether business communication instructors assess written communication assignments differently from native and not native speakers of English. We're going to come back to that when we deal with the second question. Whereas this is the purpose, what we want to find out, we then see that the authors have very neatly operationalized that concern or that purpose into separate research questions, a first one and a second one here. So generic title, Purpose of the Study, then research questions, followed immediately by methodology. So in the introduction part, we saw that we had content titles. In the body part, seemingly here, we've got purpose, research question, methodology. So more generic titles. As we scroll on, we get to data analysis. Again, a kind of more generic title, and we see that we get into data analysis with lots of numbers. And still, this is all data analysis with tables and many paragraphs and many more tables, all the way down until we get to a section called Discussion of the Findings. In other words, it seems that the data analysis, everything that came before, these were the findings or results if you want, and now we're going to put these into perspective in a discussion. Again, focusing a bit on the figures until we get to a final conclusion, and then a reference section where you have all the sources neatly linked, put one below the other, and also the corresponding address. If we are going to then try and put this into perspective, what we found is that this structure, this kind of funnel, it's a bit like an hourglass. This hourglass structure is something we found. We had an introduction that was started without a true title introduction, and then that one title that was a content title, and then we found that indeed there was a purpose at the bottom, let's say, of the introduction. We found that all that information led to a purpose and two research questions, and to answer that narrow, those two specific research questions, we had a specific method. The findings were mentioned, talking about the findings and results of that method, and then in a discussion or conclusion section you have the opportunity to go wider again. This is a very typical structure of academic paper, and one that it's best that you try to adhere to. Good luck.